Why are vision statements so important in a multicultural staff?
We need to challenge our team members. So we have this vision. They're working on the
Hmm.
KPI, but they're always hitting the KPI. So the thing
Oh,
would be
sometimes they're,
we
yeah,
don't.
they're always hitting it. Hey, welcome to the Offsite Team Podcast. I'm here with my good friend April. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Came back from
Good.
MedTrade last week and just excited to dive into today's podcast on crafting your company's future with global teams in terms of a vision. What does that vision look like? And if you've
Mhm.
ever thought about, let's say, a car trip somewhere and you're going somewhere and it's not the most efficient way, like you're going to go from point A to point B and someone turns down the wrong road and you get stuck in traffic. The vision on what path you're going to go is slow. It's frustrating. Sometimes you might even miss a vital appointment because you went the wrong way. This is why having a company vision and direction is so vitally important. It's one of those things. I was at MedTrade last week and it was fun to just kind of see everyone else in the industry and what other companies are doing. Some things are doing really well in our industry, such as we're growing, we're all selling more. Some things are not as good, such as the reimbursement cuts for that did not go through of 20, 30,
Mhm.
35%. Those are all things coming and hitting local medical supplies, respiratory suppliers, and we need to make up for it somehow. And you can't just say, oh, I quit, I'm going home. Well, I'm too young to quit and retire. We need to figure things out. And
Mhm.
one of the secrets is having a really good company vision and what that looks like, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So how do we have a vision with global teams when we have employees in both the United States and the Philippines? So tell me, April, what are some things you do? We have quite a few offsite team members in the
Mhm.
Philippines, but you also work directly with our on-site team members here in the United States. What are some secrets to vision? How does that work, knowing where we're going?
The main thing I would say would be communications, because if we have to bridge the communication between the offsite and the onsite team, we want to make
Hmm.
sure that everyone is on the same page with what the company's vision is. So we have to be on the same goal. So that's the main important for me.
Absolutely. Now let's define vision first.
Mhm.
Everyone knows what vision is. But one of the things when we create a company vision or with clients that we're working towards, you can't just say, hey, we're going to do better. We're going to take care of
Mhm.
our customers. That's vague. A great vision statement understands where you're going. So, for example, our offsite team. So we have both an onsite and offsite communications team. One of the things that we've
Mhm.
done as a company, we're not there yet, but we're really, really close, is our vision is to answer 90% of all phone calls that call into our store within the first 60 seconds. It's a very distinct vision of,
Mhm.
phone call comes in, you have 60 seconds to answer it. Now that's easy to say. We'll just pick the phone up. Well, if you have, our company has well over 1,000 phone calls a week. How do you set that up so you have efficiency, you're tracking numbers? What does
Mhm.
that look like? That is a vision, isn't it?
Yes, correct. I agree.
Mhm. And now, well, here's the cool thing. Some people are so scared about having a vision. Well, Eric, if I set a vision, I'm worried that I might not hit it. What's wrong with having a vision, April, if we might not hit it? What could happen there?
Well, the good thing about it is, comparing to work, I would say, if we get a prior authorization that's been denied, yes, it's bad, but at least we know what to do next, right?
Yes. And that's the thing. Some people are like, oh,
Mhm.
they might say no. Well, yeah, if you have send off a prior authorization, they'll say, we are not going to approve this wheelchair because the detailed product description did not meet our specifications.
Mhm.
Well, great. Now we know exactly what we need to do.
Correct.
And this is the beauty of having a really good vision. Now, we've already talked about KPIs. And for those listening to us who are really smart, you'll realize, oh, now I'm seeing how KPIs fit in with the company vision.
Mhm.
Now, this is going to get a little bit harder bridging cultures because we have a US based staff and a
Mhm.
Filipino staff. Why are vision statements and vision so important in a multicultural staff? Why?
I'd say it's important because we want to make sure that, as I mentioned earlier, everyone should be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should have or should follow, we need to follow the same vision in order for us to get what we wanted to in the future. Being able to work with the on-site team as compared to the offsite. I know there's difference with cultural, with the attitude when it comes to work. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of difference, but what I like about it is that at the end of the day, since we have the same vision, we know what to do.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, is if we have a vision, which is a goal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to answer 90% of all phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
It allows us to bridge that gap because we're all working towards the same goal. I was working with my assistant who is in the Philippines, and things are not perfect as they ever are, but that's life. Even if we had a US based staff that was perfect here, it would not be perfect. And I was talking with him, and he's like, "Okay, Eric, I'm going to talk with you on May 4." Well, some people might not get that, but one of the things I'm working with him on is, hey, I need to let you know it's May 4th or May 7th. And
Correct.
sometimes they'll just, those little things, but we
Mm-hmm.
have that when you have a vision that you're working towards together, what can we do? So even though our offsite staff is in the Philippines and your English is amazing, but there are small things that we can work on and say, hey, if we do this, it will allow us to connect with our customers a little bit better and we're going to have better results. And that's really what it's about. And the vision allows us to do this, especially when you have really good KPIs to measure them against. Are we hitting our goals or not? Isn't it?
Correct.
Mhm. So, what are some things offsite team member as you've worked with them? Do they like when we have a clear vision, or does it make them nervous that they're worried about something? How do you handle that, and what do you do?
I would say everyone agreed with the mission and vision that we
Mm-hmm.
have because the moment that we hired someone to be to join the offsite team,
Mm-hmm.
we already informed them about what the company's mission and vision is. And because we have a clear vision, they know what they need to deliver. So just like with the mission, how do you do your work and applying the company's mission and vision? So it's
And
vitally
everyone wants
important.
to win. Everyone wants to win, don't they? Once they know what
Yes,
they need to hit, I keep
exactly.
hearing like they will contact you and say, "Hey, I don't know how to hit this goal. Will you help
Mm-hmm.
me?" That's the
Yes, that
sign
is
of a
correct.
really good organization because you have your mission of your organization, you have your vision. Where are you moving towards,
Mhm,
and what does that look like? And this is wonderful. Whether so we talked about communications. Let's say answering 90% of phone calls within the first minute. Great. If you are using your offsite team for billing related items, you can
mhm,
come up with what's your goal. Let's say how can we drop the DSO of our company to below 50, to below 60? What does it look like? How fast are we going to confirm these orders? The vision, and one of those things, if your company does not have a clear vision, we're going to work with you because the offsite team members that we employ in your organization, they want to win, but we also want to have you continue to make more and more
mhm,
money. And, in this industry where they've just cut 20 to 30% of our pay or it's coming, we need to make that up in efficiencies. There's
mhm,
nothing else we can do until our government gets their act together. But in the meantime, okay, we have 9 to 12 months until this is fixed. We need to make it up in efficiencies. And you make it up by not saying, hey, April, work harder. We do it with a clear vision. We're going to
mhm,
confirm X many orders, or we're going to answer these many phone calls, or there's a lot of ways to do that. And one of the key ways is with a clear company vision. Now, what are
mhm.
some of the problems that you've run into over time? Even though you know how to have a clear company vision, what are some problems that we might run into?
The one that we've had previously, I would say, is one of the challenge because we need to challenge our team members. So we have this vision. They're working on the
Mm-hmm.
KPI, but they're always hitting the KPI. So the thing
Oh,
would be
sometimes
we
they're
don't.
always hitting it.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they're hitting it, but we don't want to be complacent. So we want to stretch them, we want to challenge them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem that we've had.
Yeah, and so sometimes they keep hitting goal after goal after
Hmm.
goal. Okay, so now it's time to stretch them, and what we would do is we would change that vision. So when we have not hit it yet. When our communications team hits 90% of all phone calls answered, that's going to move to 92. It's just naturally going to. Now you will get this point where you hit this you cannot answer all phone calls because there'll come a time where 20 of our customers all call at the same time, and we're not going to staff our comms team with 20 CSRs. Just
Hmm.
cannot do it. But there is a way then, okay, once you figure out what the top threshold is. Now we're going to change the vision and say, okay, our goal is going to be to have an average phone call instead of 6 minutes. We're going to bring it down to 4 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can increase the sales revenue per phone call maybe up to another 20%. I mean, there's a lot of fun things we can do with vision here. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens in a really healthy culture is to always be evolving. What's the vision and what does this look like? Now, vision and action. So what's one of those things? We have our vision, there are challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how to get our vision in action. So, like, for example, we have Filipino team members. They're coming into either our or our client's company, and they need to share their insights, because that's really what happens next. So how do we get or facilitate the process of facilitating insights with both US based and Filipino employees? How do we do that?
Well, we have the KPI, which is available for everyone in the team. So
Mm-hmm.
the on-site and the off-site team can take a look at that. They will be able to see the numbers. And what I like about that is it challenged them. So, when the numbers are up on the other part of the globe, then the other will be work hard as much, which I like. I think it's one of the things that we did to have it open. Like everyone can see it. We're not hiding your numbers,
Mm-mm.
and we're communicating with them. They know what they need to hit. I think that's very important.
And we have had, I'll let you know, we have had some team members self-select out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been fascinating. When we have a really clear vision and we know where we're going, and as long as it's realistic, but there are certain team members, they're not going to be able to hit that. And we don't lose very many. We lose way more US based team members than we do Filipino team members. And I think a lot of it's just we're a little weaker here in the States. We're a little fatter. We're a little not as hungry. But what will sometimes happen, as long as they're realistic,
Mm-hmm.
some people will just say, I don't have the capacity to hit that. And I'm going to move on to another job that's a little bit easier than what we do. Because we pay our team members really, really well, but we also work our team
Mm-hmm.
members really, really hard for top results, don't we?
Correct.
When you first, were open and hearing to our vision statement of where we're working, how did it resonate with you? Were you worried about it? Were you excited? What were some of the feelings that you felt when you said, "Hey, our company is a little bit different in terms of having a very concrete vision. Where are we going?"
At first I was nervous because I'm not really so sure if I'd be able to deliver what the
Mm-hmm.
company's vision is. So there's this shaky feeling. Will I be able to contribute, or will I be able to just add to the madness?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind. But then when it was presented to me, it was clear when it was communicated. Of course, it was a struggle at first
Mm-hmm.
since you're still trying to, getting the hang of it. But then after that, I think I'm able to pass those visions, the KPI that was given, the tasks at the same time, which is why I was able to complete lots of orders way back when I was still processing orders.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to deliver the task on time. I think that was really helpful.
One of the things that I like that you shared, you said, I was a little bit scared. Will I be able to do that? A
Mhm.
sign of a healthy organization is when team members can communicate with their team leads. Hey, I'm worried about hitting these numbers. And I've seen certain team members say, don't question, just do it. The old Nike slogan, just do it. Well, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you can't. You
Mhm.
do need to just buck up and do it. But other times we need to listen, attune to our team members, say, hey, April, I can see how you would be a little worried about hitting those crazy high numbers that we think you can hit. And there's a way of breaking that down. And one of the things we offer our clients is, even if you only hire one or two offsite team members, you still get our leadership staff that's going to listen to
Mhm.
them and encourage them and say, hey, we think you can do this. I had someone we were talking about, we thought they could do 15 widgets a week, and you can throw in oxygen concentrators, CPAP machines, wheelchair fittings, you name it in there. And they're like, that's just too much. That we
Mhm.
cannot do 15. We don't have the capacity to do it. That's way too much. And so then we broke it down. And the way you do something like that is, okay, if I can't do 15, but we then came back and said, can you do 3 today? Oh, yeah, I can do 3.
Mhm.
Well, you see where I'm going with this. If you can do 3 in a
Yes.
day, you can do 15 in a week. And a lot of times we get so focused into our little corner that we're working that we don't realize, oh, I'm actually not only capable of 15, but I can probably do 30. I can do 6 widgets a day, whatever that
I agree.
happens to be. And this is the advantage of having a staff and a clear vision statement. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the goals of the company? I was working with a client today, and he had a really outrageous vision of how he wanted to transform his organization. And he was way more optimistic than even I thought he could be. But essentially, what we did is if you have such a big vision, bring it down into small pieces. And we ended up leaving his vision. He's like, I'm going to do this over the next year. Okay,
Good.
let's go for it. Because even if someone's vision's too big, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, and my goal is a 10, even if you only hit a 5, well, a 5 is still way farther than where you were the first place. And then you're going to recalibrate as you're along the way. And we've done this over and over and over again with our offsite team members. It's like, let's change the vision of what that looks like. But we're always working out of a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. And it's really, really helpful for not only our organization, but the other ones that we work for.
Right.
So in terms of just like vision, what's your one take home? If you could do everything, what is the one thing that you would say, I'm going to create a vision with my offsite team members? What is the most helpful in working with them? One word, one statement. What is one thing you'd want to say? Hey, you're going to be working with offsite team members in the Philippines. What is most helpful?
Well, our vision is to help our client, those that will be hiring the offsite team. Our vision is to help them to be able for them to work on the back end to work on the front end while we work on the back end.
Yeah. One thing, we're going to help our clients, and that means we're going to save them money. We're going to allow them to keep more of their hard-earned money in their bank account and get more done, have more freedom, have more sales, and live happily ever after. It works that way all the time, doesn't it? Not really. If you're not watching us on YouTube, I just winked my eye, because even if you do everything right, something always happens.
I agree.
Yeah. So, last week mission, this week vision. Now we're going to get into the following. We're going to talk about values, mission, vision, values, and kind of what that looks like working with the offsite team. We definitely have some tips and tricks and things that will help you with your business. But in the meantime, April and I, we are here to help you. Go to offsiteteammember.com. There are a lot of outsourcing businesses out there, and we've actually used them as a company, and some, I need to be nicer, but some are absolute garbage. You spend all sorts of time out there, and you spend money, and you just don't get the results. And that's what we're here. We're going to help you get the results for your business. Don't just spend all of your time and just tread water. You're going to work hard as the owner of the business, but we're also going to work hard on the back end helping you out. So if you're at all interested, just give us a call. Let's chat about what working with offsite team members looks like, and how we can help you in the process. So until next week, we will see you on the Offsite Team Member Podcast.